In the middle of the Nevada desert stood Fort Kingsley, a U.S. Army base that looked ordinary from the outside. Weather-beaten barracks battered by sandstorms, rusted wire fences, dust-covered Humvees. And at the heart of it all, smoke rising at the same hour every day from a single building, the mess hall. Among those working there was Private Anna Carter. To most soldiers, she was simply the cook. She wore a uniform correctly, kept her hair tied in a strict bun, rarely spoke, and served plates without complaint. The one thing that drew attention to her was the small tattoo on the right side of her neck, a black eagle with its wings spread wide, carved in sharp, deliberate lines. For the soldiers, that tattoo was nothing but a joke. What is that? A diner logo? Maybe the secret symbol of a cooking guild? Are you going to take flight when dessert's ready? Every laugh echoed through the mess hall, but Anna's face never changed. She placed the trays calmly on the counter and went back to the steaming pots without saying a word. In the first weeks, everyone mistook her silence for weakness. The younger recruits in particular found joy in mocking the tattoo whenever she walked by. But not everyone laughed. Some of the higher ranks noticed small details. Sergeant Reynolds, for one, realized Anna never flinched under pressure. The way she arranged the tables with military precision, aligning corners to the millimeter, didn't feel like the habits of a rookie cook. Still, Reynolds said nothing, for now. One evening, after dinner service ended, a few soldiers spotted Anna in the storage room. Normally, cooks handled knives casually, almost carelessly. But Anna, she broke down the blade like a weapon, reassembling it with a single hand in swift, practiced movements. "Hey, rookie! What are you, Gordon Ramsay?" Laughter erupted again. Anna slid the knife smoothly into its sheath, placed it neatly on the shelf beside her notebook, and walked out without a word. The days passed in the same rhythm. The tattoo remained visible. Anna never buttoned her collar high enough to hide it. It was as if she wanted it to be seen. But she never explained. One afternoon, a recruit in line mocked her openly. "What's that tattoo supposed to mean? Pizza delivery schedule?" Anna lifted her eyes and locked onto his. No words, just a calm stare. Then she tapped the ladle on the pot 3 times, a sharp rhythm, and returned to serving food. For some reason, the recruit stepped back, suddenly uneasy. One morning, a cargo plane landed at Fort Kingsley. Crates of special operations equipment were unloaded onto the base. By mistake, one of the crates was left near the mess hall entrance. A soldier fiddled with the lid, muttering about the serial numbers. Anna passed by, paused, and glanced at the markings. Without thinking, words slipped from her lips. Black Talon series. NATO class. That doesn't belong here. The soldiers froze. There was no way a mess hall cook should have known that. Whispers spread quickly through the base. Maybe she's from a special unit. No way. If she was, why would she be serving food? But what if it's true? Every rumor made the tattoo on her neck draw more stares. Still, Anna remained silent. Until the day an unexpected visitor arrived at Fort Kingsley, General Thomas Walker. That day the mess hall was crowded as usual. Clattering trays, bursts of laughter, recruits whispering jokes about the tattoo. Anna stood at her post, ladling food with quiet precision. The door opened. In stepped General Walker, his uniform immaculate, silver stars on his shoulders gleaming. Officers followed behind him, but he stopped in the center of the hall. His eyes scanned the room, then locked onto Anna. He walked forward slowly, boots striking the floor with weight. Anna looked up. The tattoo was visible in plain sight, and in that moment every laugh died. The general raised his hand to his brow. With perfect form, he delivered a sharp, deliberate salute. The mess hall froze. Forks and spoons hovered mid-air. Soldiers exchanged bewildered looks. A general saluting a cook? Anna didn't move. She adjusted a tray and continued her work, though a flicker of pride and sorrow crossed her eyes. The general's voice cut through the silence. Never mock what you don't understand. That mark is no decoration. From that moment on, Anna's silence was no longer a mystery. It was something else entirely, something the entire base would soon respect, even fear. General Walker's salute had thrown the entire mess hall into a heavy silence. The clatter of metal trays, the mocking laughter, the endless noise, all of it had died instantly. Up until that moment, Anna Carter had been nothing more than a cook to them. But if a general, one of the highest-ranking men in the army, saluted her first, then clearly there was something hidden beneath the surface. Anna set the ladle gently back into the pot. Her hands did not tremble, her face did not move. Yet in her eyes, just for a flicker, there was something. Pride, sorrow, and a memory no one else could see. Whispers rippled between the tables. A general doesn't salute a cook. Maybe she was in a special unit. No way. If she was, we'd know about it. But no one dared to laugh anymore. The eagle tattoo on her neck, once the punchline of countless jokes, had now become something else entirely, a mark of fear and mystery. Sergeant Reynolds remained silent. He had always sensed there was more to Anna than what she showed. Now he was certain she was no ordinary cook. General Walker's voice cut through the tension, deep, commanding, absolute. When you see that mark, you never mock it. That's no decoration. Those who bear it are anything but ordinary. His words lingered in the air like a shadow. Most of the young recruits didn't understand, but they all knew one thing. Anna Carter was not who they thought she was. The general lowered his hand, turned, and left the hall. His officers followed, each of them sneaking a final glance at Anna before disappearing into the corridor. Anna's heart was pounding hard inside her chest, though she kept her face calm. That salute had reopened something she had buried, a past she never spoke of, a mission she never forgot, and a debt she could never escape. From that day forward, the atmosphere in the mess hall changed. Where once there had been mocking voices, now there was hesitation. Soldiers avoided her eyes, muttered quiet thank yous, or passed their trays in silence, but the rumors didn't stop. Maybe she's intel, or special operations, or maybe just a friend of the general's. Respect mixed with suspicion, fear mixed with admiration. Yet Anna never spoke. Silence remained her armor. One evening, 2 soldiers returning from night watch heard noises in the supply depot. Curious, they peeked inside. Anna sat at a table with an M9 pistol in pieces before her. Her eyes were closed. Her hands moved with flawless precision, reassembling the weapon as if she had done it 1,000 times before. "Holy hell," one of the soldiers whispered. "She's not just a cook." Anna opened her eyes, noticed them watching. Calmly, she placed the weapon back in its box and shut the lid. Then, in a low, steady voice, she said only one sentence. "You didn't see this." The 2 soldiers exchanged uneasy glances, then nodded quickly. From that moment, the rumors about her were no longer rumors. They were belief. A week later, a visiting Special Operations unit arrived at Fort Kingsley for training. During lunch, one of their lieutenants spotted the tattoo on Anna's neck. His face hardened instantly. He leaned toward his men and whispered, "I know that mark. Black Eagle Unit." The name alone was enough to freeze the air. Black Eagle had been a shadow unit, an off-the-books team deployed on missions no one else was cleared for. Few knew of them. Fewer survived. If Anna Carter truly bore that mark, then the most dangerous person at Fort Kingsley wasn't a decorated officer or a loud-mouthed recruit. It was the silent cook serving food in the mess hall. General Walker returned to the base a few days later. This time, he cornered Anna outside the mess hall. "They're still watching you," he said quietly. Anna lowered her gaze. "I paid my debt, General." "Not yet," Walker replied, his tone like iron. "Black Eagle still carries your name. One day your silence will break, and when it does, you'll have to face what you left behind." Anna drew in a slow breath. His words hit her like a weight she had tried to set down years ago. She said nothing. But the truth lingered. The mess hall was never the same again. Soldiers no longer laughed. They lined up straighter, quieter, their eyes darting to the Black Eagle on her neck. Some feared her, some admired her, but all respected her. For Anna, little had changed. She still cooked, still served, still carried herself with quiet discipline. Yet inside her, a storm was growing. Because she knew as well as the general did, this silence would not last forever. Days at Fort Kingsley blurred together. The mess hall was still crowded, but the laughter was gone. The mocking voices had long since fallen silent. Soldiers now stood straighter in line, took their trays quietly, and avoided staring at the Black Eagle tattoo on Anna's neck. But silence only lived on the surface. Inside the barracks, whispers swirled like a storm. Was she really Black Eagle? If she was, why is she just cooking here? What if one day her silence breaks? Every new rumor made Anna's shadow grow larger. One early morning, sirens shattered the desert stillness. Perimeter breach, movement on the north line. Chaos rippled across the base. Doors slammed open, boots pounded against concrete. Orders flew through the air. Anna was in the mess hall kitchen, not at the soup pot, but at the small duffel bag she kept hidden in the corner. Inside, an old notebook lay open, its pages worn by years of dust and memory. The alarm blared. Anna closed the notebook, drew in a steady breath, and when she lifted her eyes, they were no longer soft and distant. They were sharp as steel. Scouts reported shadows along the north fence. Radar showed nothing, but the breach was real. Anna stepped out of the kitchen. Her uniform was plain, no weapon in her hand. Yet in her walk there was a weight, a command. One soldier muttered under his breath, "This isn't her fight." But as Anna moved into the desert night, her entire presence shifted. Her eyes scanned the darkness, ears tuned to every faint sound, and soon she saw it, the wire fence being cut in silence. 3 figures in black crept into the base, silenced weapons in hand. Anna dropped low. A fallen guard's M4 lay on the ground. She picked it up with practiced ease. Her hands moved like memory, checking the magazine, flicking the safety off, settling her breath. The first intruder slipped through the fence. A single shot, he crumpled without a sound. The other 2 bolted forward in panic. Anna shifted position, blending into the shadows, turning the desert silence into her ally. She hit the second in the knee, then cornered the third. The last shot cracked the night, echoing off the sand. Silence returned. When reinforcements arrived, the scene was waiting for them. 3 intruders down, weapons scattered. Their mission ended before it began. And standing over them was Anna Carter, the Black Eagle on her neck glowing in the moonlight. The soldiers froze. A cook did this? Sergeant Reynolds stepped forward. His voice was low, filled with awe. Black Eagle. The next morning, General Walker assembled the entire unit. His voice was heavier than ever. Last night this base faced an attack, and as you saw with your own eyes, the one who stopped it, alone, was Private Anna Carter. The crowd stirred with disbelief, but Walker raised his hand and silence fell. There's something you don't know. Carter's not just a cook. Years ago, she was part of the Black Eagle unit. That tattoo is no ornament. It's the mark of a fallen unit, one whose survivors carry their silence as a vow. The shock on the soldiers' faces slowly gave way to something else. Respect. Anna stood in the back, silent as always. But every word from the general struck deep. Black Eagle. Few had survived. She was one of them. That tattoo wasn't victory ink. It was a scar, a memory of a mission that lasted 128 hours in the shadows, a mission that had taken more than it had ever given back. It was why she never explained, why she chose the quiet of the kitchen, because sometimes the strongest warriors hid in the quietest corners. When the general's words ended, the yard was silent. Then, one soldier stepped forward. He had once mocked her openly in the mess hall. Now, boots together, he raised his hand in a sharp salute. Another followed, then another, and soon the entire unit was standing as one, saluting the silent cook who was no cook at all. Anna closed her eyes, drew in a long breath, then slowly returned the salute. From that day forward, Fort Kingsley was never the same. Soldiers stood straighter in line at the mess hall, voices lowered, eyes fixed not with ridicule but with quiet reverence. Anna Carter's life did not change in appearance. She still cooked, she still served, she still kept her silence, but everyone now knew the truth. The eagle on her neck was no joke. It was a promise. And promises like that do not fade, because once the eagle spreads its wings, the shadows never remain the same. Anna returned to the kitchen. Pots boiled, pans hissed. The normal rhythm of the base resumed outside. Yet every soldier knew one thing. She was no longer just the cook. She was Fort Kingsley's silent eagle. And one day she would rise again.